To perform this work, you will need to begin by removing the windshield wiper motor and assembly. Please follow the link provided at the end of this video for additional assistance with that task. Working in the cowl area, locate the white plastic straps on the blower motor housing, green arrows. Detach both straps by pulling the top strap out of the bottom plastic nipple. Next, you have to remove the intake duct. Start by pulling it up on the right side, detaching the two mounting spots, green arrows, from the threaded studs on the body. Once the right side is disconnected, repeat this step for the left side of the duct. Once both sides are detached, remove the duct from the cowl by feeding it out at an angle. Next, you have to unclip 4 metal springs from the top and bottom of the blower motor housing. This image shows the unclipping of the spring located on the lower right of the blower motor housing, green arrow. There are 2 at the top corners and 2 at the lower corners. Unclip them all. Now comes one of the more delicate parts of the procedure. Each side of the blower motor housing has a fresh air flap, green arrow, right side shown. These flaps have to be removed from the top of the housing in order to get the top of the housing out. Hold the flap still while you push the front of the housing outward. Then pull the plastic flap dowel, green arrow, out of the front of the housing. Repeat this for the left side. Once the plastic dowel is disconnected, lift the housing up while feeding the flap out of the housing. Lift the housing up while guiding the flap out of the housing. Once separated, remove the upper housing from the cowl. Now you can disconnect the electrical connections at the blower motor. Start by cutting the wire ties securing the wires to the blower clamp, yellow arrow. Then disconnect the electrical connections, green arrows, by pulling them straight off the blower motor. Use a flathead screwdriver and release the blower motor retaining spring by levering the bottom of the spring off the blower housing, green arrow. Then lift the blower motor enough to be able to remove the retaining spring, green arrow. Then remove the blower motor from the housing and remove it from the wiper cowl. The blower resistor is mounted at the bottom of the blower housing, green arrow. If you're going to replace it, now is the time. To remove it, slide it up and out of the blower housing. You may have to wiggle it side to side a bit to free the connections. Install the new resistor. Be sure it's seated properly and flush with the housing. Installation of the other components is the reverse of removal. When installing the blower motor into the housing, be sure the wiring is oriented as it was before. The motor will drop into the housing and sit evenly, both blower cages in about the same position on each side of the housing. Be careful when reinstalling the plastic housing and covers. They can break if you force them. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out another video in this series.